When national infrastructure seizes up and grinds to a halt, the public rarely looks at the abstract mechanics of the failure. Instead, they demand a singular face to hold responsible. Right now, India's education and examination system is facing a breakdown in public confidence. The person at the center of the storm, tasked with fixing it, is Dharmendra Pradhan. If you watch Indian politics closely, you see leaders who build their entire careers on fiery television debates or packed stadium rallies. Pradhan took a different route. He rarely makes headlines for loud speeches or viral outrage. His ascent to power relies on a specific skill set: building and managing intricate, behind-the-scenes organizational networks. He understands how to engineer the back-end logistics of a political party. To see how he might navigate this highly visible education crisis, we have to look back at how he mastered that invisible machinery in the first place. His story begins in Talcher, an industrial coal town in Odisha. He grew up watching politics from the inside of his own home, surrounded by trade unions, coal mines, and local volunteers. His father was an early BJP leader who eventually served as a union minister under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. When he joined the student organization ABVP, he used it as a training ground. It taught him the practical mechanics of mobilizing volunteers, organizing large-scale events, and managing disagreements on the ground. He took those organizational skills and applied them to his home state. In the 1990s, the BJP had to build its presence in Odisha from scratch against heavily established rival parties. Pradhan spent years doing the quiet work of setting up the local units needed to carry those oversized party flags into new districts. In Indian elections, television presence only goes so far. Winning requires millions of booth workers, precise data collection, and planning. That invisible machinery often holds more structural power than any charismatic speaker on a stage. By focusing on those granular details early in his career, Pradhan proved that mastering human organization is just as vital as mastering public messaging. When Narendra Modi became Prime Minister in 2014, Pradhan's organizational track record earned him a surprise appointment to one of the most critical portfolios in the cabinet: petroleum and natural gas. India imports the vast majority of its crude oil. Every fluctuation in global prices directly impacts transportation costs, household inflation, and national energy security. Managing this ministry means steering a core pillar of the economy. Here, he oversaw an expansive policy initiative called the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. The goal was to replace hazardous, smoke-heavy indoor cooking methods with a nationwide distribution network of LPG cylinders. This map shows the project's logistical challenge: building a supply chain from urban hubs to remote rural areas. But this chart comparing connections against usage shows a significant gap in refills. For many lower-income households, ongoing fuel costs remained out of reach. Despite the debates on sustained usage, the initial rollout proved one thing clearly: Pradhan could architect and execute a complex logistical ecosystem on a national scale. After petroleum, he took on the Ministry of Skill Development. This move highlighted a specific gap. A college degree without employable skills creates frustration, while industries without trained workers cannot grow. This pipeline visualization maps out the concept of a human capital ecosystem. The government began treating education, skills, and industry as connected parts, where one feeds the other to drive economic growth. That ecosystem philosophy led directly to his appointment as Education Minister in 2021. He was tasked with rolling out the national education policy and expanding digital access to classrooms across the country. Managing petroleum was an exercise in regulating physical resources for the present day. Managing education means architecting the fragile human resources that will dictate the country's future. Today, that responsibility includes overseeing some of the largest competitive examinations on the planet, coordinating millions of students in packed examination halls. For a politician preferring the role of the invisible organizational architect, this is a severe contrast. There is nowhere to hide when the testing system makes national headlines. Technical errors or scheduling delays can be managed as logistical problems. But when students and parents question the integrity of the results themselves, the crisis shifts from a failure of administration to a failure of institutional trust. He has built his entire career by innovating physical supply chains and engineering political networks. Now, we will see if those exact same skills can solve the hardest problem in governance: rebuilding public trust once it has been broken.